The Island University arrived in the Alamo City for what should be a very defensive matchup. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the McDermott Center in San Antonio, Texas, alongside Blair Villarreal. I'm Joey Gonzalez and Blair. Both these two teams looking to continue to build off of what's been a very winning season.
Well, Joey, we've seen two great teams, or two conference rivals here in the Southland Conference. UIW coming off of a pivotal win over UTRGV on Thursday night to extend their win streak to 2. Meanwhile, for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, they're coming off a very impressive win over Houston Christian on Thursday night and looking to start a win streak here. And today's game is going to be very important in regards to conference standings as we take a look at the conference standings. UIW currently sitting in 5th place. Meanwhile, for the Islanders, they're currently sitting in 8th. The top 8 teams make the conference tournament at the end of the season. They're both sitting in tournament position. And, whoever's going to come out on top is going to make some very impressive changes to the conference standings.
One player who's going to look to impress for Texas A&M Corpus Christi in today's ball game is Maria Aguado.
Well, we talk about the 5'9" grad student guard out of Barcelona, Spain. She's the leading scorer for the Islanders, averaging 11.7 points per game and 4.1 rebounds a game, shooting 51% from the field. She's a well-rounded Southland Conference player, and I'm curious to see what kind of tricks she has up her sleeve to go up against a very strong UIW defense.
Meanwhile, for UIW, they'll be led by a very impressive sophomore as of lately, Destiny Whitaker.
We talk about the 5'10" sophomore guard out of Dallas, Texas. She's coming off a very impressive 14 points, 4 rebound performance for UTRGV Thursday night. She hit 2 crucial threes in that second half. She's looked really good these past couple of weeks, and she's someone that Coach Dow says can give the whole package. She's a good little pull-up game. She can score around the rim, shoot from 3 in the ring, and I'm curious to see if she's going to carry that momentum she had from Thursday night into today's matchup in her first start of the season. Thank you, Joey. Coach, you guys are up going into halftime. What were your initial thoughts on that first half?
Well, I thought the first quarter was not our best effort defensively. We were in our man. We switched over to our matchup zone, slowed him down a little bit. We still were getting beat off the dribble, whether we're man or zone. That's not good. But we at least, maybe they started shooting a little more threes. They weren't getting the same number of paint touches. I thought offensively, when we were getting the ball moving side to side and getting some paint touches, we got pretty good looks. When we settled, we weren't.
Georgia Elliott had some crucial 3-point plays late in that second quarter. What do you expect to see from her going on the floor in the second half?
Well, hopefully more of the same. Maybe knock down a 3 or 2. One of the things she's improved at is finishing around the rim, so that's good to see.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Joey.
Thank you very much. 8 games remain in the regular season, and both these two teams are looking to make a chance at the Southland Conference Tournament. Coming up next, it's the Southeastern Louisiana Lions and the University of Incarnate Word Cardinals. Alongside Blair Villarreal, I'm Joey Gonzalez. And Blair, this is a SLU team who's won 9 of their last 10. Meanwhile, for UIW, they're looking to rebound after the loss against McNeese.
Well, we talk about that game between the Cardinals and the Cowboys. UIW had McNeese on the ropes the entire game, but just fell short 2 points to a 65-67 loss. Meanwhile, for Southeastern Louisiana, they're currently riding a 2-game win streak with a win over Lamar last week. And if we take a look at the conference standings, we see UIW currently sitting in 9th at 4-8 in conference. Meanwhile, Southeastern Louisiana is tied with Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Nichols, and Lamar at 8-4 for the second place spot.
One player that will be interesting to watch out for in this bowl game is Sam Lyons Jr.
We talk about the 6'6" senior guard out of Marietta, Georgia. He's a transfer from South Florida. He leads the Lions in scoring, averaging 16.6 points per game, shooting 50.7% from the field. And, he's going to be someone that's going to be a key piece of this Lions offense. I'm curious to see what he's got up his sleeve here tonight.
Meanwhile, for UIW, they'll be led by the transfer Jalen Anderson.
Well, Jalen Anderson is coming off of back-to-back high-scoring performances to lead the Cardinals. 29 points in their last home game versus Houston Christian. Meanwhile, 15 points versus McNeese on Monday night. He's adjusted to the program really well, and Coach Harmon really likes where he is at right now.
High-stakes matchup in the Alamo City as we get ready for the regular season finale between the Lamar Cardinals and the UIW Cardinals. Alongside Blair Villarreal, I'm Joey Gonzalez. And Blair, this is a UIW team looking to get that final spot in the Southland Conference Tournament. Meanwhile, for Lamar, they're trying to get top 2 in the SLC Tournament.
Well, this could not be a more exciting game environment for both UIW and Lamar's. They're both trying to lock in their places in the Southland Conference Tournament. As we take a look at the current conference standings, Lamar is second place with 13-4 conference record. Meanwhile, UIW is tied with Stephen F. Austin for that 8th place spot at 7-10. But, you know, UIW controls their own destiny to try to get that final spot in the conference tournament.
One player who's looking to guarantee a top 2 spot in that tournament is Alexis Marmolejos.
Well, we talk about the junior 6'1" guard out of Santiago, Dominican Republic. He's a leading scorer for Lamar, averaging 14.5 points per game. He's shooting 41% from the field, 38% from the three-point line. And, you know, he's going to be someone that Lamar is going to have to look up to for reliable scoring.
Talking guard to guard, we got to highlight Jalen Anderson, and boy, has he been red hot inside the McDermott Center this season.
Well, you talk about red hot coming in from Jalen Anderson. We got to talk about his 22-point performance on Saturday night versus Stephen F. Austin, and he's been someone that's been stepping up a big-time amount in the past couple of games for UIW, and so he's going to be looking to capitalize on that performance in his final home game here tonight.
When we compare these two teams, it's two teams that love to score the basketball, scoring well above 70 points per game.
Well, as you take a look at the team stats, very similar numbers in points per game. UIW averaging a little bit more than Lamar, but hey, it's a highly anticipated matchup. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but it's also going to be very physical all on the floor.
Lamar still having a chance to capture a share in the regular season title. Meanwhile, for UIW, they're looking to return to the Southland Conference Tournament for the first time since 2022.
Davion Bailey hands it back out to Aline Sabali with the one-hand jam. My goodness. Aline Sabali gets his first bucket of the game. Layup no good. Cardinal basketball once again as UIW keeps looking to claw their way back to a small digit. Aline Sabali back-to-back dunks. Oh my goodness. Marcus Clover will pass it back out to Anderson. Lamine Sabali, oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, mama, Lamine Sabali. We've seen some slam dunks, and that, just talk about a poster. And Lamar will be called for the travel. Talk about a fired-up UIW team. Just take a look at the replay there. Sabali just with the monster one-hand jam over Terrence Dixon Jr. Davion Bailey with the jump three and one! Oh my goodness! Oh mama! Davion Bailey! I call him the three-point king for a reason. He is on fire from the three-point line, 4 for 7. And he will now go for the 4-point play as he will go to the free throw line for one shot. Davion Bailey already at 14 points here in this first half, as the McDermott Center has gone silent. To get the 4-point play, and he does.
1 ball and 0 strikes. To 40 continues to glance over the shoulder. Here comes Adil home. This ball is lifted into left field. Backing up is Ben Williams. Back at the wall, and that ball is gone. See you later. It's a 2-run home run from Ryan Scott, and the RBI venture continues here on the weekend.
Joey, I mean, back-to-back games. Ryan Scott opening at bat. Home run. I mean, he's the power guy for this UIW team, and he has delivered all weekend long. 3rd straight game with a home run, and have yourself a day, Ryan Scott.
12. San Antonio, as we get ready to send it down to Blair Villarreal, who's with Ryan Schatzberger.
Thank you, Joey. Coach, you guys are up after 3 complete innings. What were your initial thoughts on those first 3 innings?
Yeah, I'm glad that happened. We needed to play. We need to play somebody else with another uniform. Thought the first inning went kind of how I thought it would, but you saw what happened the second time through. Once they relaxed, you just start playing.
Josh Salinas taking care of business on the mound, 3 strikeouts already. What are your initial thoughts on his performance so far?
Yeah, he's been good. They did a good job fouling some pitches off. We got to be a little bit finer with the location, but now it's about trying to be pitch efficient so we can get them a little bit deeper into the game.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Joey.
Thank you very much, Blair. We move into the top half. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2-A here for Ray Mendoza. Prado, get ready for the deal home. Here's the pitch, and Mendoza will rip this one down the right field line. It is carrying, and that ball is gone! Second home run of the inning, and it's a grand slam for Ray Mendoza.
Wow. 2 words for Ray Mendoza. Grand slam in the bottom of the first, bases loaded. And Joey, we talked pregame, and we were just waiting to see who on this UIW batting lineup is going to have a good day. We saw Rob Liddington hit the solo shot, and just a few minutes later, we see Ray Mendoza get his first home run of the season. And what better place to get a grand slam, first grand slam of the season, than here at home.
Antonio, and now we send it down to Blair Villarreal, who's with Ryan Schatzberger.
Thank you, Joey. Coach, you guys are up after 3 complete innings. What were the initial thoughts on those first 3 innings?
I thought the first inning we had a really good plan, stuck to it. I thought Sal did a really good job setting the tone, getting 8-pitch first inning. Thought we got complacent. I didn't think we were any good in the second inning. So we got a lot of baseball to play. We got to keep going.
Ray Mendoza had that grand slam in that first inning. Just what are your initial thoughts on his contribution so far?
Yeah, I'd like to see him to be able to repeat quality at bats. You know, he kind of got beat right there on a 4-3 ground ball. He's better than that. I just want to see some consistency out of him.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Joey.
Thank you very much.
Well, Jake Weaver is the 5'10" junior outfielder out of...
This ball's lifted into right field, back at the wall. See you later. A walk-off home run from the transfer, Jake Weaver. Cardinals win it 7-6.
Joey, oh my God. I'm stunned to speak. Here comes the Gatorade bath. 1-pitch wonders for Jake Weaver. One of the fastest guys on this team comes in clutch. My goodness, he brings in power. He brings it in at just the right time. And UIW's 4-game losing skid comes to an end, and their 5-game losing skid against the Bobcats is over.
First win since the 2022. We send it down to Blair, who's with head coach Will Davis.
Thank you, Joey. Coach, you guys are up after 4 complete innings. What are your initial thoughts so far?
I think it's going a lot better than the last time we talked. But no, the guys are doing a great job. But, you know, look, it's offensive conditions, and we got to be prepared to play all 9.
Offense has been looking pretty good. 14 runs off 13 hits. How do y'all look to capitalize on that?
Just got to keep going, having great at-bats. And it's easy to give at-bats away when you get up by 10 or so, but you got to just keep going, having good at-bats, and winning 1 pitch at a time.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Joey.
There have been plenty of big games on the schedule, but this is one of the biggest series of the year as we get ready for a doubleheader between the McNeese State Cowgirls and the Incarnate Word Cardinals alongside Blair Villarreal. I'm Joey Gonzalez, and Blair, this is a UIW team who got the best of McNeese last year in the Southland Conference Tournament. However, round 1 going to McNeese yesterday.
Well, Joey, if UIW wants to come into game 2 to even up the series, they're going to have to look to get some more distance from their starting pitching. Jenny Robledo, who got the start yesterday in game 1, didn't have as good of an outing as she did last week against SFA. Meanwhile, for the Cowgirls, if they want to clinch the series right here in game 2, they're going to have to look to play some consistent softball throughout the course of all 7 innings today.
Larissa Jaquez is going to look to lead the charge for UIW. Meanwhile, McNeese looking to put another win and capture the series here on this Saturday afternoon. We'll get ready to step aside, and when we come back, we'll have first pitch Cowgirls and Cardinals, and it's coming up next right here on ESPN+.
Well, starting in the circle for UIW is going to be Lottie Jaquez. She is the 5'10 sophomore pitcher out of Eagle Pass, Texas. She played her high school ball over at Eagle Pass High School. She's coming off a very impressive freshman campaign in 2024, and she's going to be looking to have the team on her back to try to win here in game 2.
Yeah, if you're impressed by her freshman numbers last year, I mean, those numbers right there are very impressive in terms of the ERA so far. The 1.91 ERA and 28 strikeouts. Meanwhile, we'll look at who.
Wow, talk about a cannon arm from Jillian Gutierrez with just enough power. I could tell, and they're going to take another look at it.
That is the second time in this ball game that we've seen the defenses stand tall. Think about earlier in the ball game, the diving effort in right field. Now you talk about the throw right there from Gutierrez. She's one of two of four players on this Cardinal team with a perfect fielding percentage. And talk about veteran leadership, Gutierrez with an absolute dot over to third base.
Man, and this would be a huge play for UIW. Get the lead runner over at third. Avoid a run trying to come home. I mean, you still have another runner in scoring position. But it's better off to get the lead runner rather than trying to avoid a run score coming into scoring for McNeese.
So if the call is overturned, you have two runners in scoring position, which McNeese hasn't had all day long. They have not had two runners in scoring position.
Well, Lottie definitely knows how to take care of business on the mound. I mean, Coach Kimberly Dean speaks very highly of her at the beginning of the season. She wants to make sure she has the team on her back, and she's also built some trust with her team that she can get the job done.
And also, when we talk about this coaching staff and the confidence that they bring to every single game, we spoke with the pitching coach Robin Layton earlier this year, and she's very confident in her young ladies as well with the way they present themselves heading into each and every single game. But another thing I found very interesting, she describes every pitcher is so different, and she's able to work individually with each one in order to accomplish what their goals are.
Well, that's what makes this UIW pitching staff so unique, Joey. I mean, they each bring their own unique talent. Each one of them brings something a little different to the circle each time. So it's like you're not having the same style of pitching from all of your pitchers. You bring something new and unique every time you put one of those pitchers out in the circle.
And that's what you love to see so much about team sports. I mean, every single person has a different background, and it helps really build the character for every single team that we cover. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 away. Here comes the deal home from Lottie. That one fouled directly backwards. I mean, talk about the examples of that. Bella Mitchell, a pitcher that we'll likely see here sometime today, an aspiring actress. So there's plenty of different personalities for this Cardinal team.
I mean, another cool thing about this UIW pitching staff is that they all love each other. They're all so supportive of each other, and they want to make sure they're all doing great things in the circle.
Thank you, Joey. Coach, you guys are up after 3 complete innings. What are your initial thoughts so far?
You know, just again being relentless. Yesterday was a grind out game. We knew today these 2 games would be grind out, so I'm just glad we came with a ton of energy and our offense is starting to spark.
Vic obviously had that 3-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd inning. How do y'all look to continue backing her up at the plate?
You know, it's just continuing its next woman up past the bat. There's really no one in particular that, we're asking more from. Just do your job, be effective, and make sure that we're scoring runs.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you, Joey.
With 1 away. Altamirano looking for her first extra base hit of the afternoon. 2-2 delivery on the way. This one's into left center field. Back at the wall, and that ball is gone. See you later. A walk-off home run from Victoria Altamirano. Cardinals have evened up the series, and they win it 1-0 in the bottom of the 10th inning.
What did I say, Joey? Right before we came back, my money was bet on Vic. She delivered. Once I saw that ball hit her bat, I was like, it is game over. This must have been the hit of her life right now to even up the series against a very tough McNeese team.
Blair, that ball was sailed over the top of the scoreboard, and we're going to do it all again in 30 minutes time.
Really excited for Game 3 right now. There's going to be a lot of extra tense and pressure going into Game 3. A tied series. I'm excited to see what Game 3 brings.